Now let's take a look at what are selectors in CSS. CSS selectors are used to target different HTML elements based on various factors. So let's take a look at some of the commonly used CSS selectors. So here we have an h1 in our HTML file, and if you want to select this h1 in CSS, we'll just go to our CSS and we'll type h1 and type the styles over here. So we'll type color red, and we can see the color has changed to red. So if you want to select a tag in HTML, all you have to do is type the tag over here and then write the styles inside curly braces. Let's create a paragraph over here, and we'll type lorem ipsum text of say 100 words. And now if I want to target this paragraph, all I have to do is go to styles.css and type p and write the styles inside curly braces. So we'll type color and we'll set it to green. So here we can see the color of paragraph has changed to green. Now the problem with this element selector is that if you have multiple h1s and you want to have different style for a specific h1, you cannot do that. For example, we'll just duplicate this, and if I save this, we can see all these h1s have the same styling. So for that we have class selectors in CSS. So to use a class selector, you have to add an attribute called class in your HTML tag, and we'll give a name for this class. So we'll just type red over here, and we will have red color for both these h1s. So we'll copy this class and we'll paste it over here as well. Now both these h1s have the class of red. So what we can do is use a class selector instead of an element selector. So we'll just remove this h1 from here, and to use a class selector you have to type a dot and then the name of the class. So the name of a class that we have given for h1 is red. So we'll type red over here, and if I save this, we can see both these h1s have red color, and the other h1 without the class doesn't have the style applied to it. So if you want, we can have a different class for this h1. So we'll just change this to, you can type any random name over here. So I'll just give my class a name of my style, and we can target that here by just typing dot my dash style, and for this we will just text align it to the center. And here we can see this h1 is text aligned to the center because we have this my style class applied to this h1 over here. And you can also add multiple classes to an element. So here if you type red and press space, we can see the styles of red as well as my style is being applied to this h1. So this is how class selectors in CSS work. Now the next type of selector is called ID selectors. IDs are used for unique content in your web page. So one ID can only be used once in a web page, but in classes we can see that we can use the same class for multiple elements. So here we'll create a new h1, and to set an ID for an element you have to type ID and the name you want to give to the ID. So we'll just type some name over here. I'll just type unique h1. So here we'll just type this is a unique h1. Now to select this ID, all you have to do is go to CSS and type hash and the name of the ID. So the name of our ID is unique-h1, and here we will just give it a background color of light gray, and here you can see we have a background color for our ID. So in this way you can also use IDs in your web page if you have some unique element in your web page. Now the next selector is called universal selector. It is used to select everything on the page, and so it is basically used to reset some things on the page, like reset the margins, padding, and set the font family and so on. So let's go ahead and use our universal selector. So we'll go ahead, and to use the universal selector you have to type asterisk and type whatever styles you want in curly braces. So here if you'll type margin to 0, and if I save this, we can see now all the margins are 0 on this page because we have set margin 0 to universal selector. So the margin of everything has changed to 0. And we can also change the font family. So we'll type font dash family, and we'll just type Roboto, and we can see the font of all the elements has changed. And with the font family you can also use a fallback font. So we'll type sans serif. So if the user doesn't have the Roboto font on their system, or if the font has not yet loaded, then a sans serif font in the visitor system will be used to display the content. Now the next selector that we're going to take a look at is called descendant selector. It is basically used to select elements inside another element. So let's go to our HTML and we'll create a division and we'll give it some class. So we'll type box over here. In this we'll create an h1 and we will type something over here. Alright, so here we can see the h1 and it is inside this division with a class of box. Now to select this h1 inside this division with a class of box, all you have to do is use descendant selector in CSS. To use the descendant selector, you have to first of all write the name of the parent element. So if you go to our index.html, here we can see that we have this division with a class of box. So this is our parent element. So let's go to our style.css and here we will type .box. Now to select the child element, all you have to do is add a space and then add the child element. So we want to select the h1 inside our div with the class of box. So here we will type h1. Now whatever style we have over here will only be applied to this h1 right here, because this is the only h1 inside the box division. So if we'll just give it a color of yellow, we can see the color of this h1 has changed to yellow. We'll also change the background color of the box. So we'll just type box background and we'll type red. Now we'll take a look at how to select elements with multiple classes. So for example, if you want to select an element with a class of both box and active, then what you can do is type the name of the class box and then type the name of the other class without any space. So we'll type dot active. Now whatever style we write over here will only be applied if the element has the box and the active classes in them. So we'll just give it a padding of 32 pixels. So right now we don't have any element with a class of both box and active. We have an element with a class of box, but that element doesn't have the class of active. So let's go to our index.html and for this division we'll also add a class of active. And here we can see we have this padding applied over here. That's because we have the box and active classes in our element and we have selected both of them over here. So if you remove one of these classes, then the padding will disappear. So here we can see the padding has gone. Now let's see how to add the same styling for multiple selectors. So here we will just add a padding of 24 pixels to all the paragraphs. And we can see we have this padding over here. Now if you want to add the same styling to the h1 as well, then all you have to do is add a comma and type h1. And now if I save this, we can see the h1 and the paragraph have a padding of 24 pixels. So in this way we can add multiple selectors over here. We can even add classes or IDs. So that is basically how you have the same styling for multiple elements. Now there are many other advanced selectors which you can use in CSS, and whenever you feel the need to use them, you can search for it on the internet and you'll get a list of all the selectors and how to use them. The selectors that we have learned are sufficient for most of the websites. So that's it for this video. See you in the next one.